Welcome back
What's
to
up,
the
fellas?
Clash at the Round Table. I'm your host, Rue.
It's your boy Big
Yes,
Balls.
And
sir.
today we got a legend in the building. Go ahead and introduce him, boss.
Hey man, Mr. OG man, how you doing today, man?
Running good, brothers. How y'all doing?
Doing good, doing good. Man, you ready to get on to some of these topics?
Let's do it.
All right. First up, can KD surpass LeBron? Does the NBA need a face? Which era was best, 80s or the 2000s? How did your upbringing get you into basketball and today's college basketball? What is it missing? Let's go ahead and can KD surpass LeBron? Can he?
It's tough, man, because what's the criteria on passing him? Are we passing him because he won more championships? He's not going to surpass him because he's a better player, because James is an overall better player than KD.
That's true.
So it's not going to work in that aspect.
Uh-huh.
And then you got to ask yourself the question, how much longer is KD going to stick around? He's going to be 33 on opening night. He's going into year 15.
Mm-hmm.
How many more years you think KD got?
I mean, if he take care of his body, I think he can give at least 20 years to the league. You know, he had a time off last year, so
That's gonna be kind of hard. He played a lot of minutes this year.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that too, my man, because he had the Achilles injury 2 years.
yeah. He had the Achilles and what? What's wrong with your
That
phone?
had him out half the season. He only played 35 games this season.
Yeah,
That's true.
So, with that being said, this season coming up, I mean, what they plan on doing is they plan on getting started when they normally do. Training camp opening up at the end of September, early October,
True.
and starting the season off as they normally do, and getting back to an 82-game season.
Yeah.
So with that being said, how are these guys going to hold up? You already saw these guys breaking down as it was this year.
yeah.
Now we're going to get back to an 82-game season. Well, the reason why
I'm gonna say
sorry,
this.
go
I
ahead.
think with this year compared to last year or any other years in the NBA, you had a lot of people that was like, well, not really in shape and really didn't take it any serious. So they was like, all right, well, you know, less a season, we could get through it, and boom, that's when them injuries come in.
You're professional basketball. How you not in shape? That's your job.
Hey,
to get in
you
shape.
got an off season.
You still supposed to be in shape though.
You still got an off season, no matter how you look at it. You
LeBron
got an
and
off
MJ, they
season.
take care of their body. So what's the difference?
Well, you see what it got with LeBron. Ankle injuries. Then you have a hamstring injury this year. Come on now.
They ain't got nothing to do with it.
It got a lot of things to do
You
with
gotta think about it. He got a lot of
Hey,
miles on him too. 18 years.
Hey, that's the thing he signed up for right out of high school. Hey, I want to play for the NBA. I want to be the face of the franchises. Like, I'm good with it. I want to win championships. I want to surpass all these legends in the game. So, what you expect?
I mean, I just don't see KD surpassing on LeBron. I just don't.
So, when we look at surpassing him, are we trying to surpass him from sheer numbers or his overall legacy? Overall legacy, I don't think KD can touch that because KD, unlike LeBron, KD is more shy. LeBron is not really shy. He's more of, hey, this is the brand that I'm presenting. This is me.
Yeah.
So with KD doesn't give that. KD's more of, I got burner accounts. I just want to score the basketball. LeBron's not a really scorer. He's more of a facilitator. He's like a Magic in a sense. He wants to get everybody around him involved. Where KD, nah, I'd rather shoot. You know, y'all feed whichever y'all feed. That's why it didn't work well with the Thunders. Didn't work well. Well, it did work well with the Golden State Warriors.
How you say he's not a scorer? He leading the playoffs. Is I'm right, OG? Ain't he leading the playoffs in
He is.
scoring, right? In history, right? Is that true?
not only that, not only does he lead the playoffs in scoring in history, he averages 27 a game for his career. His first 7 seasons when he was in Cleveland, he averaged 33 times.
Yeah.
Now, he is a facilitator, but let's make no mistake about it. James scores the buck. James scores the basketball. That's exactly what his game is. He'd like to be more of a facilitator, but the problem is that those pieces weren't around him. So because those pieces weren't around him, he had to score. And because he had to score, he had to develop his game into becoming more of a scorer, which is what he did.
True. But you gotta think about this. Let's put this on the table. In the years that LeBron has been in the league, how many times has he missed a playoff game or missed a playoff period?
I think it was 2 times out of his whole career.
Okay, then. So you got to think about it. If you're going deep, we're not talking about no short runs that he's going into. We're talking about deep runs LeBron is going into. So with that being said, of course, you're going to sit there and legit go over what you're supposed to be honest with you. That's in my opinion.
We back, OG.
OG, you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, but like I said, like with LeBron, out of all his playoff runs, he's always been going to the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals, or the Western Conference Finals. So you have to add that into the fact that he's gonna lead the league in score in playoffs, minutes, and all that. It's just factors.
I think that.
Well, we can't hold that against him.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
Far.
We can't.
Absolutely not. We can. In fact, we got to praise him for that, for taking his team as far as he's been taking them.
Oh yeah.
He's the common denominator every year of why that team, whatever team he's on, he's the common denominator. He's the constant of why that team is going far every time you've seen him on whatever team you've seen him on.
That's true.
He's been the difference.
That is true.
So we can't look sideways at him for that.
Yeah.
That's like saying, well, you're making the most money, so you got the biggest house. Well, I work the hardest.
Yeah.
I've been here the longest.
You're right about that. So let me ask you this. With the current state of the NBA, do you feel like it needs a face?
The current state of the NBA, let me make sure I'm understanding your question. Does the NBA need a face?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Well, it's always had a face in every era. And when I first started watching the game in the late 70s, going into the 80s, the face became Magic and Bird. And then from Magic and Bird, it became Jordan. And then from Jordan, it became Kobe and Shaq, Tim Duncan.
Al Iverson.
Hello.
And then LeBron showed up, and then he became the face of the league. And then Curry became also the face of the league. So there's always been a face of the league. It's just a matter of who is going to be that. And I can honestly say that if health is not an issue and he can stay healthy, I think Zion's going to be the face of the league for a long time.
I'm going to have to argue on that. I think RJ's going to be the face.
RJ Barrett.
Yes.
I love RJ. Let's be clear about one thing. I don't like RJ Barrett. I love RJ Barrett. The thing I'm concerned with is I'm concerned with the Knicks rushing him.
Ooh.
And making sure that you develop him the correct way, because he's getting better every year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Screw him up, because I do think he's the future of the Knicks. Also, with Randall, I think they're one guy. They're that team. They're the 93-94 Bulls, who I'm watching and I'm thinking they missing something.
I think we missing at least I want to say we probably missing a shooter.
No, you're not. You know why you're
Oh.
not? Because you got R.J. Barrett. You're going to develop him into being that.
Yeah.
He's going to be that guy.
But the way the shape.
That being said, you're missing that. You're missing the seasoning on the meal. The meal is being put together. The seasoning isn't there though.
I think OG I know Leonard is a free agent. I think if he go to New York or something like that, that's a missing piece right there.
Let me tell you something right now. And I don't want to cut you off, but let me tell you something right now.
Yeah.
Leonard ends up in New York. They're the favorites, not in the Eastern Conference, to win the NBA championship next year.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, because kind of like Toronto when he went to Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that, but at the same time, like, I don't think Leonard is going to opt out. But then again, he might, because some fact he was complaining about the fact that the coaches, well, not the coaching staff, but the medical staff of the Clippers wasn't doing their best to get him back on the floor in this series. But, you know, we'll see what happens in the offseason.
We had the same problem in San Antonio with him, too.
Yeah. at some point you got to think about it. It may not be the medical staff. It might just be him.
Well, it can't be everybody every time. At some point, who is the constant here?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it can't be everybody's fault every time. At some point, you got to start looking in the mirror like, wait a minute, what am I doing wrong here?
I don't think he's gonna look in that mirror because of the type of person he might be. Because
we'll see.
It seems like he points fingers a lot.
Yeah, we'll definitely see, man.
But it'll be like, I feel like it's gonna be interesting this offseason and next offseason to see where all these pieces are gonna go. Is they're gonna pay? Like, I think Dennis Strudem wanted $1 million?
100, yeah, 100, 120.
Yeah, like, I think that's outrageous. He didn't perform well.
But you got to think about the market. NBA get paid now.
Yeah, but still, he didn't perform well. What I'm paying you for to throw tantrum tantrums in the playoffs?
You got to think about Rudy. He get paid more than him.
Come on, Rudy deserve it.
He's not doing that in Minnesota. When the last time he done something?
Hey, I'm just saying.
You just got.
That doesn't hold any weight, my man. I'm the defensive player of the year.
Hello.
Not only am I the defensive player of the year, just so you know, Utah, when Rudy's off the floor, they were ranked 27th overall as a unit on defense. That's in the bottom 5 of the league. Third from last. When Rudy's on the floor, they rank 3rd overall as a unit defensively.
But he been kind of hurt, ain't it? The last couple of years, ain't it?
I wouldn't say he been hurt.
No, he wasn't hurt. The problem that we have with Rudy is Rudy has a difficult time defending on the perimeter past 18 feet.
Yeah. He gets exposed.
And that's what the game is today. The game is stretched out.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to guard at least 20, because the big fella, guys like Joker, guys like Embiid, they shoot the long ball. And in addition to shooting, not only shooting the long ball, they also shoot the mid-range.
Yeah.
They shoot 15 to 18 feet. So you have to be able to guard out there. Now, we don't have guys who fight over screens and hedge on pick and rolls. What they do is they switch.
Yeah.
But when you got a big fella, Rudy's size, who is 22 feet away from the basket, getting switched on to Draymond Green, I'm dragging him 22 feet away from the basket, and I'm going after him. Now, Rudy's the consummate rim protector. That's his game. Now, him sliding his feet 22 feet away from the basket, that's going to be difficult. That's why he has such a tough time out there.
Not only that, he got exposed that last series when they went up against Phoenix. Like, Phoenix demolished them, man. Like, it wasn't a matchup.
I like Aiden now, man. He gonna get paid soon.
Oh yeah, you have to pay him. Look what he's doing. This playoff run. Like, arguably behind him, Devin Booker and Chris Paul is the reason why that this team is where they are.
Yeah.
Best thing that happened to Aiden's career was Chris Paul, because before Chris Paul, wasn't nobody talking about this guy.
Yeah.
I thought that he was a wash. Like, for real, I'm like,
because they don't be on TV like that. That's what.
Well, it's not even much that he doesn't be on TV like that, but if you look at it, it's like every game that I watch of his is like, all right, what are you gonna give me? What are you gonna do? You're not really doing nothing. And what a lot of people don't realize, like, sometimes what you do for a team doesn't show up in the stat column.
Every big man need a good point guard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shaq had him.
Yeah.
Tim, he had him. Who else had him?
I mean, 2 years before Ayton got CP3, he was 18 and 11. They just had a bad team.
Yeah.
They just had a bad team, and they didn't really have anything around him. And also take under consideration that being that young, along with Booker, who's also impressionable, those guys are trying to show that they can stick. So the notion of winning, that's not as nearly as important as I'm trying to get to my next contract.
Yeah.
And how am I going to do that? By proving that I can play.
Yeah. But you still, like, I feel like this, even with that, you still have to produce, because at some point that franchise is going to get tired of you and be like, all right, let's give this piece away. Prime example, if we look at the Knicks with Kristaps Porzingis, arguably a good player, but it's like, all right, you can't stay healthy for me. So it's like, all right, let me ship you out to get some new pieces in so we can start this rebuilding phase for the 30th or 29th time in franchise history.
Well, that was the issue with it. Wasn't Porzingis' play. Porzingis was on his way to being 20-10 with the Knicks. The problem was he couldn't hold up. Well, I can't depend or I can't base my franchise. I can't build my franchise around a guy who's going to fall apart. I can't do that.
Yeah.
The production was there, though. I mean, like I said, he was on his way. He was 20-8 before he got hurt. So he was on his way to doing that. It was just he couldn't hold up. That's why the Knicks had to look in a different direction.
That's even with Portland when they had Roy. Roy Jones? No. Greg
Oden.
Yeah.
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 So it's like even with that, and even like you could tell like certain teams like the Trailblazers and Knicks, and I also want to say Orlando as well. Like they had issues where they'll get a player and injury prone, but good injury prone. So we gotta ship him out, or they wind up retiring and start sinking.
Hey OG, what you think it is with players getting injured? What you think they not take care of their body, or they just not train like they supposed to?
No, I think that LeBron was right. No, even though I am a professional athlete and it's my job to keep myself in shape, rest is extremely important.
Yeah. Especially
with that strenuous of a schedule that you have in the NBA. And to have that quick of a turnaround, it was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It was absolutely a recipe for disaster. These guys, don't forget that during the COVID lockdown, we talking 3 months, my man, where I can't do anything. Not all of these guys don't have gyms in their houses.
Yep. Yeah.
So I can't go to the local 24-hour fitness. I can't go to the Y because everything's closed.
Yeah,
that is true.
I can't get in the gym. I can't, and there's nothing like actually playing basketball. I mean, I could go run miles all day, but unless I'm actually getting on the floor and playing basketball, I can't get in basketball shape. So we got 3 months where none of that was going on. We're talking from March to almost June, in June, and then get right back to it in July.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then have 2 months off to get right back to it again.
Hey.
That was really difficult, and that was a lot of strain on these guys' bodies, so I'm not surprised that they broke down the way they did. I'm not.
So let me ask you this. So which era is better, the 80s or the 2000s?
Well, the 80s, I think the 80s with Magic and Bird. I think what the 80s with Magic and Bird did was it introduced us. It introduced us to wide open basketball.
Yeah.
And what each era did was it enhanced it. So there was no this era is so much better. These guys are more skilled because these guys are just as skilled in the 80s. They just enhanced it in the 90s.
Yeah,
with
that's
Jordan,
true.
and then Kobe took it from Jordan and he enhanced it. And then James and Curry, they took it from them and they enhanced it.
I think
I was
Curry
a big fan of the 2000s because I loved what Shaq and Kobe were doing.
Yeah.
I loved what Tim Duncan was doing. I loved that was the point guard era where the point guard was just so much more fast. He looked faster. He looked more athletic.
Yeah. Jason Kidd, Allen Iverson.
Man.
And he was just He was just dynamic.
You also got to add Tony Parker in there too now. Y'all be sleeping on Tony Parker.
Yeah.
Like, Tony Parker is arguably one of the slept-on players in the 2000s. People don't give him the respect that they deserve to give him just because he played underneath Pop and played with Tim. Come on, y'all got to put some respect on Tony name. Hey, you laughing? I'm so serious. For me, I feel like they don't win that champion. They don't win those championships that they did if Parker don't develop into the player like he did.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. That is fair.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think that Magic could play in today's game? I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
On how it's facilitated right now, do you think Magic could play in this era?
I personally think Magic would be phenomenal today.
Yeah, me too.
The way Magic played and how fast he played, I think he'd be phenomenal in today's game because the game is so much more wide open now.
Yeah.
See, the three-pointer didn't come into the NBA, I think, until 81.
Yeah, I think so.
Guys weren't shooting the long ball back then.
Yeah.
The three-pointer was offenses weren't designed around the three-pointer. Offenses were designed around the big man.
Yeah, it was.
So now you got a guy like Magic who plays fast. And not only does he play fast, he's a primary facilitator. That's his game. So when you get that dynamic into it, and he's playing with a guy with a shooter like Klay Thompson, if he's playing with a big man like Joel Embiid
or Joker,
yeah,
he could also facilitate and have Joel Embiid be on the block and go to work.
Yeah.
Oh man, he would. I think Magic would be incredible today.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, he might eat more than the point guards now. So, like a while back, we did discuss the big man is coming back. Do you feel like the big mans are making their way back? Because, like, I'm starting to see a lot of big men developing that 3-point shot.
I would love to see that. When I first saw Joel Embiid, I immediately saw Hakeem Olajuwon. I was like, this guy's gonna bring the big fella back.
Yeah, he real nice.
Mm-hmm. This guy is gonna bring back the big fella, and the big fella is like COVID in my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I mean when I say that is, it's not over, but it's never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the big man isn't gone. We're just not going to see him like I saw him 30 years ago, where the conventional big fella goes to the box.
Yeah.
And he asks for the ball. No, that dude is gone. Shaq is gone.
Yeah.
Ewing is gone. David Robinson, them dudes is gone. However, the big man can be enhanced, where he still plays on the box. He just doesn't play on the box primarily.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Embiid finds himself in that mix. I don't like him shooting as many threes as he does, just like I don't like Jokic shooting the long ball as much as he does, because it takes away from his ability to rebound.
That's true.
And it also not only does it take away from his ability to rebound, it also takes away when he's got to play defense. It drags him away from the bucket, and he can't rim protect now.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I would love to see the big fella come back more.
Now let me ask you this, OG. What you consider Giannis a center or a power forward?
That boy is center.
He's a 4-man. I think so. He's a 4-man with a unique skill set.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a 4-man with a unique skill set. He gets up and down the floor with the best of them. He runs like a deer in transition with and without the ball. He's enhanced his mid-range game. People don't give him enough credit for that. He does shoot it. I think that he's in his head because he works on his game. It's not like it's a situation where he's just showing up. He clearly works on his game.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's just a matter of him trusting
Confidence,
the stuff that he's working on.
Yeah.
I think he just takes too many threes for my taste. Like, he takes more threes than Ben Simmons, but I think he just need to do that mid-range stuff and then, like, let that three-pointer come to him naturally versus forcing it like he's forcing it this season.
Well, he's shooting the three ball. You know why he's shooting the three ball? Because you told him to. Because AD's shooting the three ball. James is shooting the three ball. So why are you not shooting it?
Yeah.
So you told him to get out there and shoot the three ball. And even though what he was doing in his game was working just fine, you in his ear telling him he needs to do this, he needs to do that. Well, he hears that 200-300 times. He started thinking, well, damn, maybe I do need to enhance my three ball.
That's true. So let me ask you this: how do you feel about Ben Simmons' game? Do you think so? A while back, I want to say about 2 years ago or so, Kobe said that if Ben Simmons actually develops a shot, he's going to be the dangerous player in the game. Do you feel like that is true if Ben Simmons finds a shot?
I think Ben Simmons is another, like Giannis, he's in his head. Mm-hmm. And the reason why he's in his head is because he's listening to you.
Yeah. Social media, man.
You guys are telling him, you need to do this, you need to do that, instead of what has been working for you. The reason why Kobe became who he became, because he stuck to what worked for him. The reason why Jordan became what he became, Olajuwon, these guys became what they became, because what my game consist of. This is what's working for me. I'm not going to let you talk me into doing something that's not good for my game.
Yeah.
That's true.
This is who I am. And you either have to dig me or don't. Now, I would appreciate Ben Simmons getting a mid-range game because in order for Philadelphia to advance to the next level, he has to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to.
Because and the reason why I say he has to do that is because I have to be a threat to score.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to have a knockdown mid-range.
Yeah.
Got to be a threat to score. If I'm on the floor and I'm not even a threat to score, I'm not helping us at all. In fact, I'm killing us.
Yeah. I think it's almost an insult,
he has to be at least a threat to score. That's why he has to develop. And Ben Simmons is another one who works on his game. Yeah. But he doesn't trust what he's doing. He'll see one or two shots not go in, and then he'll go right back to what he was used to doing.
But when his first year rookie, he had a pretty good season that year. He was shooting the ball, he was shooting 3-pointer.
But see, you gotta look at it. With that, he did have a good season, but I felt like the hype behind him kind of really just got into him, where it's just like, all right, let me look what everybody's saying about me. Because like versus back in the day versus now, back in the day you didn't have to worry about nothing. Like you didn't have to worry about social media right then and there. Like you'll get the news clippings and stuff like that, like the day after, or like, all right, cool. You said something nasty about me. All right, cool. I'll show you. Let me go ahead and bust you up real quick on the court. Let me show you what I can do. Nowadays, the NBA players, NFL players, or even Major League Baseball players, period, they have to deal with like right there. As soon as they pick up their phone, social media is right there. So it's like, oh wow, these how these people really feel about me. And Philly is like one of those cities that if you're not doing well, they're gonna let you know, and you know this because you're an Eagles fan. If you're not doing well, we're gonna boo you out the stadium.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Earlier this season, this NFL season, where Carson Wentz, what happened? No fans in the stadium, and boom.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
So, like, Philly, it might be the market for him where he might have to step out that market and go to a different team.
Yeah. So let me ask this.
Or maybe just get better. How about that?
Yeah.
Don't
That
let him
too.
off the hook.
Yeah.
That too. But
Work on your game and get better. And mentally become stronger. Don't let him off the hook where you got, because he's going to have to deal with that in New Orleans. He's going to have to deal with that because it's still the NBA.
yeah,
So he's going to have to deal with that wherever he goes.
that's true. That's true.
And if he doesn't, he's just going to fade into oblivion.
Yeah.
That's true.
So let me ask you this question, OG. How was it being coached by Bob Early?
Coach Early saved my life. That's basically what I can say about him. I was a knucklehead, hard-headed kid from Jersey City who I wasn't going anywhere. And Coach Early took a chance on me, and he demanded that I be held accountable, and he made me get better, not just as a player, but as a person. He held me to that standard. Yeah. This is what you're going to do if you're going to be here. And it shaped me in everything that I did in my life. Coach Hurley was monumental in my development. And I'll never be able to thank him enough for what he did for me. Never. He was incredible in my development in my life.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like the coaches nowadays versus coaches back in the day, do the coaches back in the day care more about the players than the coaches now?
Well, that's a tough question, man, because the game has expanded so much.